Any pecuniary interests? Seeing none. Has everyone had a chance to review the agenda? Any additions? I'll entertain a mover and seconder to adopt the agenda, please. Chris and Robert. Any additional agenda items? Seeing none, we can move into the minutes. Has everyone had an opportunity to review the minutes? Any errors or omissions? Mover and seconder to approve the adoption of the minutes. Bill and Terry, thank you. So leading through number 6, new business and updates. I don't think we have a long agenda today. Really what we're gearing up for is our AGM in June, and then the open meeting that's going to follow right after. So Rick, what I'll ask is that you can move through item by item, opening the issue up to questions following your summary.
Will do. Thank you very much. So if we can move on to 6.1, Small Business and Entrepreneurship Center. So Millworks was participating, I guess a couple of weeks ago, was the Startup Week in Sault Ste. Marie. So we worked with Startup Sault Ste. Marie, put on a number of workshops, and overall I attended a few of them myself. So solid workshops and great participation. Ended up with 89 attendees overall during the week, and some good opportunities I think will come from that down the road. We're in the process right now, Starter Company Plus, getting that finalized and getting all the reviews on the business plans done. So that's going along good. I think we're going to have a good crew again this year. And we're also working very closely on the summer company with the school. We had to give them a bit of an extension because high school kids are high school kids. So we had a lot of promised business plans that were supposed to be in last week that didn't quite make it. So we did give them a week extension so they could get in. Pretty confident we'll be able to fill that program up again this year too. So that's a great thing for the community. We do have an animated video now on the Millworks website, and it's basically just good things going on in Sault Ste. Marie. So it's just a little 1-minute blurb of things that are going on. So if you get a chance, check it out. It's also on the, I believe it's on LinkedIn as well. So if you want to check it out, it's worth taking a look at. We are working on as well with the Millworks group is the 3-year extension of the contract. That's in the final stages now. It's been vetted through our legal department. So we're just tweaking a few little pieces. As always, there's some language that needs to be tweaked. So that's getting done. So we'll have that in place very shortly. Any questions on what's going on at Millworks SBC?
So just to refresh our memory, what are the actual spots that are allocated for the Starter Plus company? Because before we used to have a certain allocation based on our population and our productiveness by filling those spots. So where are we with that?
So with the Starter Company Plus, we can do 2 sessions of 12. So typically we end up very close to that. With the summer company, generally it's about 10.
Has there been a decline in that just because of we're still not quite out of the pandemic that you found, or is there any reluctancy for people to apply?
No, I don't think so. I think there's a lot of interest, and you know, Jessica does a real good job of doing outreach into the community to seek. You know, she goes to the high schools and seeks out students and promotes the program pretty good. So I think there's still strong interest in that. I'd actually like to try and ramp it up more if we can as we move forward.
Yeah, thank you.
Anybody else? Okay, so we'll move on to 6.2. As you saw yesterday at the meeting, the RFP has been awarded for the industrial lands to Century 21 through our purchasing department. I was recused from that because obviously I'm on this board, so I was not part of the decision-making process. It was done through a number of people within the company. Any questions on that? Okay, 6.2.2, Canada Water Agency. We're still moving forward on that. I'm transferring that actually over to Joe Turpin, who's our guy who's responsible for development. It makes more sense to have him on it. And I'll take this moment as well just to announce that Kathleen Hamans is going to be moving on. She's got a new position with the Canadian Municipal Federation, I believe is a proper title. She hadn't been looking, but this one came along, and a friend introduced her to a friend, and she got a good offer. So she will be departing at the end of this week. I do have already ads out in a couple of publications, as well as all our other sources that we can look for people. If you do hear of anybody who you believe would be a great candidate, please forward them to me. I think we've got a much tighter profile now than we had when I started on what we'll be looking for that position. So, like I said, if you have anybody that you know who would be a great candidate, please send them forward, and you can tell them to contact me directly or go through the website. Any questions on that? Okay. ROI update. We're still working with our executive pulse system, as I mentioned before, so that's getting tight. They still owe us, I believe at last check, about 16 more leads. We're very selective with them now. When we first started, they were giving us, I would call them unvetted leads, somewhat, but not to the extent that we expected it to be. So we are now very selective. When they bring leads to us, we make sure that if we make a call and they're not within the profile that we told them, that we reject it. So still moving forward on that. We have, I would say on that right now, about 3 that I could see coming to materialization over the next 12 to 18 months. So I'll keep you informed on how that works out. Any questions on the executive pulse and the actual ROI program?
Rick, what was the executive pulse portion of the ROI program again?
So that's just how we're tracking it, Chris. So we've got the executive pulse is our CRM system.
Okay.
So it's just the system wasn't geared up to actually track those leads. So we've been working with the company to get it so we can get to the point and push a button and see what's going on.
Do we own that CRM, or did they own it, or is it a third party?
Third party. Yeah.
Okay.
So Executive Pulse is the company.
Yeah.
They're actually really quite reasonable as far as CRM systems. Don't quote me on this, but I believe they're only about $1,800 annual, which is quite reasonable for something like that.
Oh yeah, Salesforce would be like 30,000. Okay, yeah. Great. Thank you, Rick.
Okay, you're welcome. Any other questions? No. Okay. Film industry. Paul, did you want to touch on this one a little bit? Just as we had a bit of a discussion at our meeting a couple of weeks ago as to potential next steps.
Why don't you take it as far as you can? I really only have one update on that, but why don't you give everyone a brief update, and then I'll fill in one piece of the puzzle. I just had some more information received last week. Okay.
Well, we are moving forward right now with, again, working with Rolling Pictures and some other companies. And I think we're getting some positive traction. We've got the right people in place now in Travis's group. So a lot more activity going on and generating potential film opportunities. And with this potential studio opportunity development coming up, I think Paul can speak to that, but I think it's going to get us in the right direction. Speaking with Rolling Pictures, they are really, let's call them forward focused, which is really exciting because they're talking 10 years out. They're talking, we need to get the colleges on board. We need to get the universities on board. We need to make sure that we have programs in place that will actually be able to develop the skill set that we need for the film industry. And their vision really is turning Sault Ste. Marie into a hub of animation. So some great conversations are happening there as well. So I've been working real close with Travis on that one. Paul, anything you'd like to add?
Yeah, really just one quick addition to that is that we are still trying to support the development of a studio in downtown, and there will be some progress. I think we were told sometime this summer, if not leading into the fall. So stay tuned for an update in the fall, but it seems like it will be positive news, and we're hopeful that it contributes to the downtown, but also makes a good impact on the film community for Sault Ste. Marie.
Okay, great. Any questions on that? Okay, moving to 6.4 results tracking. I've included in this package something I've been working on for a while now with the team. And essentially what it does is it calculates the economic impact of job creation in Sault Ste. Marie. So as we go through the cycle of bringing in different positions, there's always additional jobs that come with it. So, you know, if Daenerys announces 75 jobs, that usually means 150 jobs, because out of that 75, you're bringing all that economic activity into the city and all those extra dollars. So now somebody has to support them. So if you get a chance to look at the spreadsheet, and if you have any questions offline, just send me an email and I'll explain the math to you in detail. But all the numbers here are basically drawn from other economic development organizations and accepted practice, or from StatsCan. So the numbers are built on, you know, solid data, and it gives you a good line of sight. So what I've also done, and this one, so the actual tracking spreadsheet and the numbers that are used and the backing mathematics to get to those numbers are all baked, and those are the ones that use StatsCan and things like that. What I've added to this, just to give me a point of reference, and also to be able to share with you, as well as to share with council, is, okay, so it's all great, we got these jobs, but everybody knows, how's that going to impact our tax levy? So I built in a calculation, so using the actual tax and our average cost of housing right now, so I can give you an idea. For example, you know, based upon what we have in the funnel right now, the impact on the community's tax base will be $2.1 million in additional taxes. So that's kind of the bottom line. So we can get to some harder metrics. I found since I got here, the metrics have been pretty soft, and I wanted to get something that's a little more mathematical that I could get my arms around, because I'm a math guy. So this helps me make sure that we're on the right track for that. So. But any further questions on that, if anybody wants to drill into it or dig into it and understand the math better, please feel free to reach out to me directly and I'll have a conversation with you. Any questions on that?
Just want to say, as another math guy, Rick, I love that number.
Great, thank you. Okay, and the bylaw update, Paul?
There's only been one request to update the bylaws. So really, if for those of you around last year and the year before, we put a lot of focus on updating the bylaws after the substantial changes that happened between the EDC and the city. The one last change that's been requested is that the mayor be removed as an ex officio member of the board, as he is not really a member of the board anymore. So that was really just something that seemed to be a lingering or be a legacy clause within the bylaws. I think it was actually about one sentence it's referenced. So other than that, the bylaws will be going to our AGM for approval to be, I think it's bylaw number 15 that we're on now. So it's a minor change because of the substantial changes we did the year prior. So that's really it for the bylaws. I wasn't expecting many changes anyways after the efforts we put into it the year prior.
Okay, we'll move to 6.6, board update. I come here with my hat in hand today looking for a volunteer. If somebody would like to, from the board, be representative on the team, that would be great. If not, we'll seek outside the board, but I think it would be valuable to have a board member outside of me on the port working group. Right now, the team people we've already been in contact with, I'll just rhyme them off for you so you know who's on it. Laura Devoni from Algoma Steel, Christmas McMaster, Algoma Steel, Dave McCaddy, Daenerys, Juan Jose Gio from Daenerys, Jeff Avery, Don Mitchell, And from the city side, there'll be Malcolm White, Tom Vare, and myself. And we're looking for one more member of this team. So I'm not sure if anybody wants to put their hand up for this but this is really the opportunity because we want to get it filled. Bill, I see your hand up.
Yeah, if there's anybody else, I'd be interested, but I'd leave it open if anyone else would. But yeah, I would participate.
Absolutely. We all good with that?
Well, let's see if Stephen, did you unmute your mic?
Yeah, that's something I would be interested in as well too.
So I'll tell you what, let's do this. Why don't we, when do you need an answer by, Rick?
Well, probably by early next week. I want to get the first meeting up and running on this very shortly.
Is there any will for the new committee to accept 2?
I can see that probably wouldn't be an issue. So let me check. So I'll put Bill and Steve down. And then let me just confirm. I don't see that being an issue. And I think having a couple of extra voices wouldn't hurt at all.
I was looking forward to putting my name forward, but it took me too long to step forward, I guess. I think that's a great project. I think it's going to have a huge impact if the community can get off the ground. So Bill and Stephen, we hope you can voice your opinions well and see what efforts you can do to assist with it.
Excellent. So I'll get back to you, gentlemen. I'll confirm it and make sure it's fine. I can't see there being an issue and we'll move forward with that. So that's really where we are with that program. And we're actually want to get some work done now that we have the team put together. So looking forward to that. The CDC partnership, Paul, I'll let you speak to that. I can just let you know as a aside that I spoke to the team at Millworks, and we're going to make sure that we're promoting that partnership because it is a very good tool for small business in the city. So it's going up on all our social media, and Brad's going to be our support person in Millworks if we need any support from us. So we're more than pleased to help with that.
Yeah, that's great. So really the point person is going to be Dan Free on that from the CDC. He's really done a lot of the legwork, and I think we do owe it to Dan for the vast majority of work that has gone into that. I just posted in the chat a link I saw from the CDC's website this morning. And so it has gone out. There also was the press release was picked up by at least Sue today last night. So hopefully that gives some good investment to our downtown core. There's a lot going on downtown right now, and hopefully that makes a difference. And we'll wait and see what happens. Terry is going to be our representative, as we confirmed in March, on the finance committee for the CDC. And hopefully we'll see over the next 2 years how that has an impact on our downtown. So I'm glad we were able to get that project off the ground, and I'm looking forward to seeing how it's going to help people. So unless there are any other questions for the CDC partnership, I don't think we need to have it on our agenda moving forward. And we'll just look forward to Terry or the CDC's reporting to us for that partnership program. Does anyone have any questions? All right, so next we're going to go into our upcoming meetings. So there's an executive board meeting for June 15 and an annual general meeting for June 22nd, followed by the open meeting on the 22nd as well too. So typically the AGMs are fairly short in nature, just to take care of some bookkeeping. And then I'm going to be turning the reins over to Joe to chair that open meeting on the 22nd. And does anyone feel that there's anything we need to have a closed session for or an in-camera session? Rob, would you like to move in camera?
Yeah, just for a couple minutes, if you don't mind.
Okay, so can I get a seconder to move us in camera? Chris, so